Picture this: you're standing in a packed, noisy room. Everyone around you is talking at once. Someone turns to you and asks, "What did she just say?" You have no idea. That's not a hypothetical. That's what the inside of an ADD brain can feel like, all day, every day. Gabor Mate, physician, addiction specialist, and someone who has ADD himself, wrote Scattered Minds to answer one question most people get wrong. Is attention deficit disorder something you're born with or something that happens to you? His answer is going to challenge almost everything you have heard about focus, willpower, and what it means to have a broken brain. Let's get into it. Part 1: Mindset. It's not the genes, and it's not bad parenting. Here's the trap most conversations about ADD fall into. Camp 1 says it's purely genetic. Bad luck of the draw, wired in from birth, something to be done but medicated. Camp 2 swings the other way and quietly blames the parents. Mate rejects both. His argument is that ADD isn't a fixed illness. You either have it or don't. It's what he calls a developmental delay. Specific circuits in the brain, the ones responsible for emotional regulation, self-regulation, and sustained attention, simply didn't finish wiring themselves during infancy. And crucially, wiring that didn't finish can still finish later. That's the whole premise of the book, and it's the reason the subtitle isn't just The Origins of ADD, it's The Origins and Healing. Mate writes from the inside. He was diagnosed with ADD as an adult after 20 years of practicing medicine, and so were his own children. This isn't a detached academic theory. It's a physician turning the diagnostic lens on his own mind and asking, honestly, how did I get here? What he finds is uncomfortable for the self-help genre in general, because it refuses the easy fix. There's no 5-step hack in this book. There's no just build a habit. Mate's mindset shift is this: ADD is not a character flaw, and it's not a random glitch. It's a story your brain learned to tell in response to real conditions in early life. And if you understand the story, you can eventually help the brain rewire it. That reframe matters because of what it removes the shame spiral so many ADD adults live in. The sense that they are lazy, broken, or simply not trying hard enough. And it removes the parental guilt trip too. Mate is explicit. This book is not about assigning blame. It's about awareness. Because guilt paralyzes people, and awareness is what actually changes brain circuitry. So before we go any further, the mindset shift you need from this book is simple to state and hard to sit with. Attention is not just a skill. It's a relationship. Keep that in your back pocket because it's the thread that runs through everything else. Part 2: Motivation. Why the circuits don't finish wiring. So, if it's not pure genetics, what actually shapes these attention circuits? This is where Mate goes deep into neuroscience and developmental psychology, and where the book earns its subtitle. The short version: a baby's brain is not fully built at birth. Huge portions of it, especially the parts responsible for emotional regulation and focused attention, get shaped after birth through the quality of attunement between infant and caregiver. Attunement means something specific here. It's the moment-to-moment emotional responsiveness a parent gives a child. A calm nervous system reading and mirroring another calm nervous system over and over thousands of times until the child's own regulatory circuits come online. When that attunement gets interrupted, not through any parent's malice, but through stress, depression, family conflict, overwork, or simply a culture that pulls caregivers in 100 directions at once, the infant's developing brain adapts. It has to. And the adaptation isn't defective, it's protective. A child who can't rely on steady outside regulation starts building scattered defensive patterns instead because that's what the environment demanded. This is the part of the book that reframes an entire cultural conversation because Mate doesn't stop at individual families. He points at the culture itself, what he calls one of the most frenetic societies in human history. Two working parents, constant economic pressure, fragmented communities, screens competing for attention from the infancy onward. He's not letting any single parent off the hook by blaming society. Instead, he's saying the conditions for sustained attunement has gotten structurally harder to provide for almost everyone. Here's the detail that tends to stop people cold. Mate argues this isn't primarily about how much time parents spend with kids. It's about the emotional bandwidth available during that time. A parent can be physically present and still be stressed, too distracted or too depleted to offer the kind of calm, focused responsiveness an infant's nervous system needs to build those circuits. That's not a moral failing, it's a resource problem, and it's often invisible even to the parent living it. So, the motivation for reading further. If you are an ADD adult or you're raising an ADD child, isn't here's how to fix a broken machine. It's how attention actually gets built in the first place so you can understand what your brain or your child's brain is protecting itself from. Understanding the why is what makes the healing chapters land, instead of feeling like another item on a to-do list. Part 3. Methods. Becoming your own attuned parent. This is where the book moves from diagnosis to practice, and it's built around a phrase Mate keeps returning to: self-parenting. If the circuits for self-regulation didn't get fully built by outside attunement in childhood, the adult's task, however unfair that sounds, is to learn to offer that attunement to themselves. He breaks this into a few concrete practices, and I want to walk through the 3 that hit hardest. First, compassionate curiosity instead of self-judgment. Mate's coaching move here is almost embarrassingly simple. When you notice yourself spiraling into self-criticism, why do I always do this? What's wrong with me? You pause and turn the accusation into a genuine question. Not, why am I like this? But, I would really like to understand why I react this way. Same words, nearly, but a completely different nervous system response. One shuts you down, the other opens the door to insight. Second, tolerating guilt and anxiety instead of fleeing them. This one surprised me. Mate doesn't promise you'll eliminate guilt or anxiety. He argues the goal was never to banish those feelings, it's to build a capacity to sit with them without being controlled by them. He tells an old legend about the infant Moses being guided to grab a burning coal instead of a symbol of kingly ambition and being saved by the very pain of that burn. The point isn't comfortable, but it's honest. Some of our most protective instincts were forged through pain, and the work is to understand them, not to hate them for existing. Third, unconditional positive regard for your child and for yourself. This term shows up constantly in the parenting chapters, and Mate applies it just as forcefully to the adult reader looking inward. It doesn't mean pretending everything about you is fine. It means the acceptance of a person isn't conditional on them performing better first. For a parent, that means the relationship comes before the correction, and the ADD adult doing this work alone. It means you don't have to earn the right to be patient with yourself. And this is where the book lands its final point, the one it's really been building toward the whole time. Mate ties attention back to love, literally, through the word's origin. To attend to something is the original Latin sense, means to stretch towards it. That's also, he argues, what love does. So the real medicine for a scattered mind was never purely pharmacological. It's the practice, however slow and imperfect, of stretching towards yourself and toward the people you're raising, with patience instead of judgment. Scattered Minds isn't a quick fix book, and honestly, that's its strength. Mate is asking you to trade the comfort of a simple explanation, bad genes, bad parenting, for a more demanding but ultimately more hopeful one. Attention is built through relationship, and it can still be rebuilt at any age through the same kind of patient attunement you offer a child. If this kind of deep dive review is useful to you, let me know in the comments what you would want reviewed next. And subscribe if you want more of these 3-part breakdowns of the book actually worth your time.